Okay, thank you everybody for coming out. I hope we all had a nice summer break. I know everybody at AVR is just raring to go to get back into business here in Belgium. But do we have any questions? Yeah, mate, Chaz Hogan, Australian journalist. Now look, there's reports in the paddock that Artem Markelov is going to be replaced. Now, can you confirm or deny these reports? Yeah, look, Artem's a valued member here at Aussie Villain Racing, and we wouldn't be where we are without him. That being said, no one's irreplaceable. Except for me. I'm obviously irreplaceable. Yeah, so he's off then, is he, mate? Are we on the record? We are on the record. In that case, I cannot possibly comment. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Aussie Villain Racing for the Belgian Grand Prix in Season 1 of our My Team career mode. And today, well, obviously it's the Belgian Grand Prix. Now, not too much has happened since last episode where we were, of course, at Hungary. And, well, good last lap, but a bit of a disastrous race for us. 20th in the end, we came in. But yeah, we did have the summer break. Obviously, Formula 1 shuts down, which we're going through in real life just now. And so the game kind of just skips ahead, so there wasn't a chance to do too much. Nothing has changed in any of the teams. We do have, you'll see at the top there, just on 3 million in the bank. Now, we could go and upgrade things here. Now, but the reason I'm not doing that, well, we could do quality control, but that's sort of least of my concerns. The reason we're not doing that, if we just go, we'll go ahead here to corporate and over to contracts. Artem Markelov has 11 days left in his contract. He basically has this race, and then I think his contract will take in the next race at Zandvoort in Holland as well. And then we'll be looking for our new teammate. We already know who it's going to be. Obviously, I can't announce anything publicly in the press conference, but we're going to be going in for Schwartzman here, 800 grand. I just want to make sure we have 800 grand in the bank. I'm not sure if we have to pay that all up front, the base salary, or if it sort of comes out race by race. So rather than risk it and then not have the money, I'm just going to wait and do that and get that done, get the new driver in, and then we can look to invest on the facilities. Obviously, the money's not going to go anywhere, and is it going to make that much of a difference this season? Probably not, if we're completely honest. So that's where we're at in terms of facilities. Now, if we go across to R&D, now we do have some new parts on the car. What we don't have, though, is anything in the aero department, which is a shame. We do have the ability to get these tertiary wing flaps, a major upgrade, but we don't have the research points yet. You can see we've got 1,025. We need 1,200. So we haven't got anything on the aerodynamic department coming in for this race. What we do have, though, there was something that happened here, I think. Oh, the heave dampers. They didn't actually, they failed. So we've had to redo them. So we don't have anything coming through on the chassis side of things either. But you can see here we do have the spark plugs, the minor upgrade on the engine. That has happened, so that'll give us a little bit of a bonus. That's a relatively big upgrade. A major engine upgrade, which we could almost do, is available to us now. We've got the starters here, which is just a minor upgrade, it looks like. And reshaped combustion chamber, again, just minor upgrades, so we're not too concerned about those things. And the gearbox materials have improved as well, which I think happened for last race, didn't it? But that's, yeah, so not too much has happened. Even off, you know, as I said, it's just off the track in general. You can see the durability department, their morale is low. The reason for that is I had an interview with Will Buxton. I had to give an answer. I had to badmouth someone, so I badmouthed they would, I don't know, they seemed like the least important one. We do have another, obviously, the heave dampers will be coming in for the next race now instead of this one, which is a bit of a shame. And the progress chart, we can see we are the top of the two maroon-looking lines. So we are just ahead of Alfa Romeo and just behind Alpha Tauri, it looks like. Or is it Alpine? No, the darker line is Alpha Tauri. So we'll see when we get to Belgium exactly where we stand, but there's sort of a four-way battle there, isn't it? Ourselves, Alfa Romeo, Alpha Tauri, and Alpine that are very, very close together in the development side of things, and Ferrari, McLaren, Aston Martin are all sort of basically equal, with Mercedes a fair way ahead of Red Bull as well. The vehicle, we don't have, everything is looking good in terms of our parts. I'm hoping we won't actually need to take any more parts for the rest of the season, though. Obviously, we may get a failure at some point. A gearbox needs to do 2 more races, and it's looking fairly good. We did get that durability upgrade, of course, which looks like it's helping out there. And if we go back to the corporate side of things, sponsorship is all the same. We've got to beat and out-qualify our rival to get bonus payments. A reminder, that is Esteban Ocon. The rest of the things here, you can see we're still making money every week, which is good. And the finance history, again, you can see we've got as much money now as we've ever had. And again, we will be, you can see the red there, which is the break in the season, the summer break. What we will be doing is, as I said, we'll be investing back in the factory once we get the situation with our teammates sorted out. And a reminder of the standings, we are 12th right now with 8 points, and the team is sitting 8th. We are 2 points back of Alpine and AlphaTauri. Again, if we get a better teammate, maybe Schwartzman could get some points for us. But Alfa Romeo, Haas and Williams, they're unlikely to get 8 points in the remaining races, but you do never know. You can see there, we're roughly halfway through the season at this point. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. But let's head off to Belgium, and one of my favourite tracks at Spa, Francorchamps. We can see our race weekend messages. You can see a map of the circuit there if you're not aware of it. It is a very long, it's a classic track. It's one of my favorites, as I said. We can see everything that's gone on the car there since last episode. So the secondary wing flaps, and so there was a little bit more that went on. That must have come through just after the last race, which is so we do have a little bit of an improved car here, which is good. The weather forecast, it's going to be a dry, sunny time, so that is excellent news. I'm going to go do some free practice as always, guys. I'll see you for qualifying 1, and a little bit of rain in practice 2, it looks like, and we'll see if we can beat Ocon, among others.
It's time to remind ourselves of our top 3, who are Oldtimer, Leclerc, and Max Verstappen. And if today's practice is anything to go by, we're in for an exceptional weekend of Formula 1.
So there we go, unbelievable. I don't know how we did it. We topped FP3. I did check the difficulty, it was still a 78. That's the same difficulty that saw us, I'm really struggling to say difficulty, aren't I? But anyway, that's the same difficulty level that saw us come second or last for most of the Hungarian race. So, I'm not sure what's happened. I'm sure the entire Formula 1 paddock has no idea what's happened, but we've topped the session. And, well, let's get to qualifying and see if could we dare stick it on pole. Alright, so here we go, first run in Q1, and we're being a little bit cheeky. We're going to try and get through on mediums. We're going to try and save a set of the super softs for later in qualifying. Yeah, I mean, we could use this set to try and start the race on a medium. Let me concentrate through Eau Rouge. I'm not completely convinced that we're actually fastest in Q3. Sort of a natural fastness, because what we did is we were on a quali sim, and I'm not sure what everybody else was doing. So but we should, if we can top a session, we should be more than quick enough, not as much grip on these tyres, we should be more than quick enough on mediums to get out of Q1, surely. That's my logic here. But on all the free practice sort of tests, things that you do, we were well ahead of what the expected time was. So it may well just be either the car. I mean, Markelov did okay in a couple of sessions, but either the car or myself, or potentially both, just seem to work around here. Alright, get a good run out of here. And then we can kind of cruise for a little bit till we get up to the bus stop chicane, where I feel like we are painfully slow, but we had a purple sector in Q3, so we're FP3, sorry. So we're clearly not as slow as it feels through here, but it just feels painful. Bring it back, and then try and not light up the rears, as we always seem to do. A 146.9, let's see, 6th. Alright, so this is now our 3rd attempt in Q2. A little bit wide there, trying to get a good entrance onto the front straight there. If we get a good exit here. I'm doing my very, very best to stuff this up, I've got to say. So I might just concentrate a little bit more on this lap. We've got cars in front of us. This is such a scary corner. Out of the way, Kimmy. A little bit of a draft here. Who's this? Carlos Sainz. Is he going to get out of our way, hopefully? Almost spinned it on the curb there. Wouldn't have been ideal. About half a second up. This is, the car's in a bit of a weird spot here, Perez. If you could be so kind as to off. Six, 7 tenths up. This is going in the right direction for us. Alright. scruffy, isn't it? It's scruffy. 8/10 up. That should be good enough. Where are we? P18. Almost a second. Now, if we can just do... Latifi's going to stuff us up here, isn't he? If we can just get this last chicane something approaching half decent. .3 seconds. That should do it. We're up to 11. So there we go. I did my best to stuff that up, didn't I? But a 1:45.5. We did qualify 13th. We're ahead of Alonso. Oh, and we must be ahead of Ocon as well. We need to go to this one so we can scroll down. Let's see how... Ocon didn't get out, so we've out-qualified our rival. Excellent stuff, that is. Markelov is 18th. Fair play to him. He's in front of both Williams and both Haas, so he's roughly where the car should be. He should actually be out-qualifying the Alfa Romeos as well, and he's quite a ways off their pace, which I think is why we do need to get rid of him. But, yeah, well, let's go to Q2. We are... How far are we off? We're 3/10 off a Q... Well, right now we're 3/10 off a Q3 appearance. Let's see if we can do it. Alright, so here we go. Our final attempt. We've got one of the set of boots that where I abandoned the lap in Q1 on. I mean, if we don't go out, we're currently sitting in, where are we, 12th? So we're going to go out anyway. So this isn't our fastest set of tyres, but we'll go balls to the wall and see what we can do here. Again, just a little... Oh, I maybe could have taken that flat. I regret lifting. Such a big baby through there. And here we go, Gasly, who we're trying to displace. Out of the way, Pierre. Oh, Gasly maybe just put me off a smidge there. That's my excuse anyway. A few tenths up. This... Oh, could we do it? Could we do it? Oh, I think I hit the wall. I don't know if the wing is damaged. I'm not sure. I may have brushed the wall there. We're still 4/10 up. We were half a second, though. Seven tenths. Where'd that come from? Tsunoda in front of us. We'll get a draft. We're going to go into... We could even be P1 here. We're definitely going into Q3 at this rate, though. We're behind Tsunoda. He's drafting us all the way to the end of the lap. Thank you, Yuki. We're almost a second up. On the brakes. Don't run at the back of him. Oh, how do we do? We're P3! So we finish the session P4, less than a second behind Hamilton. Still the second Australian, which is a bit frustrating, isn't it? But ahead of Verstappen, ahead of Alonso, obviously. I don't know why I said ahead of Norris, Vettel, both Ferraris as well. It's a stunning result for Aussie Villain Racing. We're going to Q3, and, well, we're not going to get pole based on those times, are we? Look at the top teams. You'd imagine that Norris should probably get us as well, but we could be on the third row of the grid here. Alright, here we go. Our only run in Q3. Now, you will notice tyres are worn. We only have the one set, of course, the one fresh set. I did make a mistake on my first attempt. Knocked a bit of the wing off, so we had to go back into the pits. And that obviously has cost us time and a little bit of tyre wear. So, not ideal. Oh, I'm such a bitch. I should have just gone flat there. I can't help it. Every time I tried to go flat there in pre-practice, I would lose. The tail would go squirrely and I'd have to get out of it anyway. So that's why I'm a little bit cautious of not doing it. That's the most speed as we've taken through this corner so far. Again, I really wish I could have the delta of what we've done in previous sessions as a bit of a reference, but obviously we don't have it, so there's no point complaining. Oh, I haven't taken that as well as I have in the past. It doesn't feel it. It just felt a little bit not quite on it. But come on, let's have a nice strong finish to the lap here, Aussie Villain. Alright, that felt a little bit better, that coming out of that last little double. Right-hander, isn't it? Alright. No idea how we stand compared to previous laps, compared to everybody else. Just on the 100-meter board, let's jump on these brakes and see what we can do. Oh no! So that is so disappointing. I don't even know what time we would have done. We obviously didn't have a delta, but we start 10th, which is still not bad. Let's be honest, but you wonder if we probably would have been ahead of both the Aston Martins at least. What did we do, a 44.5 or something? So we could have found ourselves 5th on the grid. We could have outqualified Ricciardo. Could have been the top Australian. Let's get to the race.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, Sainz, Vettel, Stroll and Oldtimer, Tsunoda, Gasly, Sergio Perez and Fernando Alonso, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Esteban Ocon and Artem Markelov, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Oh, I really am getting a bit of a reputation of bottling it in qualifying, aren't I? But anyway, let's have a look at the race strategy. We don't have two... Now, I hope I didn't use the Q2 tyres again. I don't think I did. I think I put the fresh ones on, didn't I? So we don't really have a choice. We have to start on the qualifying tyres from qualifying 2. So it's soft to mediums. That's a bit of a no-brainer, and we can't really do anything about it. So let's get the race underway. So here we go, Belgian Grand Prix time. Disappointing qualifying in the end. But we start 10th. Decent, very good start, as a matter of fact, against both those Aston Martins. We see Stroll make a lunge up the inside. We try and follow him through, little bit of contact, and again with Carlos Sainz. But that's all okay. And in the end, we are where we started, in 10th. No damage. You'll notice the tyres, though. 17% worn is not ideal. Jesus Christ, Gasly, calm down, mate. I think it's actually Yuki Tsunoda, which makes a lot more sense as to why he's stuffing up the inside of Eau Rouge there. But, yeah, a decent start, albeit on the ideally two worn softs. Yuki there sticks it up the inside again. We shut him down. Gasly gets past. So now we do have Pierre Gasly behind us, but still holding on to 10th. So just going to try and see if we can catch up to the back of Sebastian Vettel in front of us now. We know that we're quick. We were very quick in free practice. We, I think, had a lot more pace in qualifying than what we showed when I, didn't do very well. But you can see Pierre Gasly all over the back of me coming through. Is that Tebak? I think that's called. Outbrake myself a little bit there. He's on the outside. On the outside, have some sand, Mr. Gasly. Keep him behind us again, but of course as long as I'm defending, it means that we can't really be catching the back of Sebastian Vettel on that train of cars that is the major points paying positions. But we'll take a point, I think, but I think there is more available for us today. As I say, we've got the pace, and even Markelov down there in 19th, you know, he's not bringing up the rear, so that is good. He's got Esteban Ocon, who of course our on-track rival. He is the man. If we can't, hopefully we'll score points, but if we can't...
Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to see a loss of power.
Well, that's what you want to hear coming onto the Camel Straight, isn't it? Loss of power. The ICE is apparently on its way out. And, well, we could really do with a Sebastian Vettel slipstream here, couldn't we? Up through Eau Rouge. Little bit wide. Gasly is, again, all over us like a bad rash. We go to the inside, we're on the button, trying to keep him behind us. We just about have enough. And that is job done for this lap with reduced power. We just need to do that, 9 more times now. You can see the tyres. I mean, they're quite worn, aren't they, for this early in the race, considering those behind us are on brand spankers. Yeah, that's not ideal. Oh, that was a little close, I'm going to say. But we just about keep the wing out of the barrier there. Again, a little bit wide. Trying to go perhaps a little bit too fast. Because, I mean, Gasly is very quick behind us. And I outbrake myself again. And there goes Gasly. and we're out of the points. If we can just keep towards the back of him.
Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Of course, DRS starts is open available at the end of this lap. So we can stay within a second of Gasly. You can see we've got a little bit of a slipstream on the overtake button as well, no doubt. If we can just stay with him, we could get dragged along here. Is it worth a lunge? Is it worth a lunge? We're up the inside. Can we push him wide? Get it back around. Don't get tagged at the back. And, well, we'll have another look at it. That appears to be job done. Back up into the points. A late lunge. We get to the corner first. Gasly has to kind of, well, we just push him tight, basically, don't we? He's got to get out of it.
We're accumulating some wear on the MGUK. To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
So, more loss of power.
Well, that's not good, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, we're down quite a bit of power at this point, and of all the races for things to go wrong, the one where we looked genuinely like a front runner is not the one, is it? Look at this, Gasly just driving up to the back of us.
Right, we have a very worn-out MGUK. Our battery charge speed is suffering, and if it gets much worse, we could be forced to retire.
Oh, for... I mean, what can you do? There's Yuki on the outside.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead, and in the DRS
You can see there, just about did enough, showed Yuki the sand trap. But, you know, two for the battery pack, the MGUK, I don't know what these things, I can't remember what they all stand for now, but they're all basically, and we go a little bit wide again, which doesn't help our cause either. Basically, it means we're just down a lot of power. So maybe we should have taken new engine units ahead of this one, but look at how much quicker they are through there. Is that part of that's probably going to be the tyres? You know, we are on worn tyres compared to them, but I mean that's more than tyres. I mean that's probably tyres. But Gasly, we are sticking with him. We are just inside a second. So if we get a nice drag up the run here to the bus stop chicane, we should be able to get ourselves DRS. And given how much power we're down, battery power, engine power, all sorts of power, we're going to need the DRS just to get sort of towed along as best as possible. Too far back for a lunge into the bus stop this time. Can we get a good exit? It's not great, but I don't tend to have good exits out of those slow speed.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
Those sorts of slow speed corners, but transfer window, that's not Formula 1, is it? The pit stop window is open. We're pitting into the lap. We've got a poor exit. You can see, look at how worn the engine is there. So disappointing. We're on the button. Up through Eau Rouge. But look at that, Yuki. You can see him visually in the rear vision mirror, which all Formula 1 cars have these days, of course. Look at him just drive up to the back of us. And straight past. Can we get a lunge and keep him behind us? Not really. A little bit squirrely on the curb as well. A little bit wide, trying to take too much speed. And yeah, it's so disappointing, isn't it? Like I say, of all the races, it's the one that we genuinely look like we have the speed to compete for a sort of a top 5 finish or something along those lines. And there's another close brush with that barrier on the outside. And of course, this is the one. Look at that, Alonso. I mean, I didn't get a great exit out of there, but just driving past us. We've got a Red Bull there as well. And can we get down the inside? We can, but a little bit too deep. And on the worn tyres, Alonso, we've got Perez now on our outside in the Red Bull. Have some sand, Perez. And, well, we're pitting this lap.
No tyre concerns at the moment. Just focus on the driving.
We're pitting this lap anyway, so I'm surprised there's no tyre concerns. We've just got to get up the end of this straight, basically, and brake one more time. It's very tempting. I mean, Alonso is holding us up a little bit at this point, but given that we're coming into the pits, there's no point going for a lunge. We just need a nice, close exit here. Into the pit lane we go, and very awkward pit lane to get in. But we get there, and that's the first stint. So we come back late, lap 6 even, and we are behind Nicholas Latifi. We're in 19th place. We're the only ones who have made a pit stop so far, I believe. We obviously came in a little bit earlier just because the tyres were shot. But you can see even against a Williams, they're on their used softs as well. We're quick through this part of the track where I'd like to think the driving makes more of a difference. But we just, look at that, driving away from us. We just can't get close. So, yeah, Mercedes have let us down a little bit here, haven't they? Although they're worn, so maybe it's not Mercedes' fault. But you can see under brakes, through the corners, we're clearly the quicker car, but as soon as we get anywhere near a straight...
Out of the way, Latifi.
Yeah, Latifi, get out of the way. We've got a decent exit there, though. Now, we should be able to. We're on the button. We need to try and clear him as quick as possible because we're trying to get an overcut here. We go round the outside, and do we pull it off? We do. A nice move. Let's have another look at that one. Straight around the outside, a little bit of extra grip. And that should be Latifi clear. But you can see from the position tower there, people are in the pits. Everything is jostling around as they make their pit stops. And now we get to see, have we been able to jump Pierre Gasly, well, both of them. And we come out behind Kimi Räikkönen.
How did Räikkönen jump us?
I don't know, good question. But there we are. We're behind Kimi Räikkönen. We're behind Alonso, Perez, and Gasly as well. So that has not worked for us, has it? Where's Yuki Tsunoda? He might be leading the race. It looks like because Giovinazzi hasn't stopped yet. He's up in second. So I imagine that Yuki is probably the leader. A little bit scruffy as I desperately try to overtake Kimi Räikkönen. But the problem we're going to have, it's sort of the problem that we've seen most of the race now, is we just don't have the straight line speed to get overtakes done. We're fast up through the middle section where the corners are there, and it's it's not necessarily down to the engine, but as soon as we get onto sort of the power sections, the first and third sectors, it's just a real struggle to try and keep up. But of course, the main thing we're going to try and do is just stay within DRS range within that second, and then hopefully we'll be able to get sort of towed along, and just at this point just hoping that we finish the race as much as anything. But here we go, nice little draft in behind Kimi Räikkönen. Are we going to have a chance? Are we going to have a chance? We're close, we're close, we're close. Are we going to have a dive? Oh, we are very close. In fact, I think we touched. We're a little bit too close. And can we get a good exit? No, we can't, as I squirrel around all over the place. You can see Markelov behind me. My, how the mighty have fallen. I mean, that gives you an idea as we pass a few cars in the pits. And Giovinazzi and Ocon, of course, the rival, is behind us. And there's Ocon, look at that, right behind us. And I think it shows that the fact that Markelov is right there has got to mean that our engine has got less power, because we whipped him, absolutely whipped him in qualifying. And I know I'm a better qualifier than racer, but I'm not that much worse at racing than qualifying, particularly when I've been out driving by myself, essentially, doing qualifying laps with just Latifi in the way. The fact that Markelov has essentially caught us on older tyres has got to mean
there's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
That either I am terrible, which is a decent argument to make, but I'd say it's got to be the car, doesn't it? We've just got to be down straight line speed. Yeah, we go a little bit wide through. I think that's Tebek, isn't it? Oh no, it's Tebek in Monaco. Anyway, we skip ahead to lap 9. We now have Giovinazzi all over our backside. You can see he's just so much quicker than we are. Drives past us.
Right now, just be careful.
And we have a bit of a lunge back up at him. Can we get there? No, we can't. And that is Giovinazzi past us. That is now Ocon directly behind us. Can we have another go onto the grass? We have another go at Giovinazzi. Oh, we've got him up the inside. Can we feed him out a little bit wider there? We've got the racing line. We'll take the place back. Thank you very much, Antonio. And, well, let's see if we can keep it as we go through this. I can't remember what it's called now. I'm sure that...
Got Ocon behind us, our rival. He has to stay there.
Charger is on his last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum.
Oh, good. Turbo's going now as well. It's a miracle this car is still going, really, isn't it? But, yeah. We skip ahead again. Now we're going to...
This is your final lap of the race.
There we go, as Jeff just said. We are on the final lap of the race. And Giovinazzi is still behind us. We're hanging on to the back of Raikkonen. And again, I say it's such a frustrating one, because given we've got a terrible exit there, and given the engine issues we have, we are going to be a sitting duck down this straight now. The only hope, and we're outside of a second, so we're not going to get DRS behind Raikkonen as we cut back into the cockpit, and we can see there, look at that, just driving straight past us. Yes, DRS open, but we're on the battery button as well. Oh, thought about a bit of a late lunge back at him, but we've got Ocon directly behind us now, and the mission, I think, from here is just make sure that we beat him. This is the part of the track, of course, where we are still very, very quick. Is there a chance to get Giovinazzi back? Of course, the problem with being quick here is we go very, very wide. It's about the 4th time I think I've done that, isn't it? But Ocon has a little bit of a look down the inside. We close that door firmly. Gets a bit of aero wash, drops back a little bit, and that should be, assuming I don't make any more mistakes, that should be job done on Ocon. Unless, of course, the engine just blows itself up as we go up the straight for the last time. But we've got a nice little gap there. We're close enough to Giovinazzi, I would think, to get a draft. And we've got a big enough gap on Esteban Ocon that he's not going to be able to...
Alright, do we have a dig at Giovinazzi into the chicane? No, we're too far back, aren't we? Sensible Aussie Villain.
I was tempted. I was definitely tempted. But discretion got the better part of valor. And, well, look at that. I got a decent exit as well. But overall, what could have been, I think.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
That was disappointing.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team. And they certainly deserve it.
Look, it's obviously a little bit disappointing today after especially getting into Q3. I thought there was maybe a big result there for us today. But we'll learn from what happened, and we'll take the points for winning free practice. There's no points for winning free practice. What a load of horse shit that is. So there we go, that was disappointing, wasn't it? I think a combination of all the engine parts failing on us, which I'm sure we were down power, we had to be, just based on what the engineer was saying, Jeff, there. But yeah, it was just disappointing, wasn't it? I think it's a case of me, again, proving I'm a better qualifier than I am racer. I don't think we were helped by starting on the used softs as well. You can see at the start, Gasly in particular, but Tsunoda as well, were just a little bit too quick for us. On their fresher tyres, and Alonso in the end got us, but that was probably just me trying to hold on. Well, I think in hindsight, what we should have done, or what I should have done, is once Gasly and Tsunoda got us, is just let them go and just try and stay with them. But yeah, you live and learn. I'm not quite sure how Kimi Raikkonen got past us, how he jumped us in the pits, but in the end, I don't know if it would have mattered. We just didn't quite have enough in the race. Even my fastest lap was not... You know, it was slower than Giovinazzi, than Raikkonen, it was slower than everyone above us, wasn't it? So, can't really complain. It was faster than Esteban Ocon. I guess the only positive is that we did beat Esteban Ocon. He, of course, is our on-track rival, so that is excellent to see. Quick look at what that all means for the standings. We are still ahead of Alonso by that single point. Gasly got points, though, for AlphaTauri, which doesn't help us in the constructors. I thought we were a chance of points there. I really did, but I'm disappointed. But anyway, it was a good qualifying session. And an entertaining race. I enjoyed the race. I just was hoping we'd be battling a little bit higher up. Anyway, guys, if you've enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you next time for Zen Vort. I've never, ever, ever in any game in all my life raced there. So that should be fun, shouldn't it? So I'll see you next time for that one. Take care.